in the last 2 weeks of the split.
I'll have to see if it even stays in this game.
Sure.
Early game was the name last time around, even though we went, what, 54 minutes there?
Yeah.
Definitely a very tense one with the Elder Dragons and Barons being traded.
Yeah, we're at about 1 hour and 40 minutes of game time so far, just in this best of 3. I've seen BO5s end faster, such as Cloud9 Miss Complexity when they qualified for the LCS.
Wow, that is a throwback.
That, yeah, it was like an hour and 5 minutes of total game or something stupid. It was kind of insane, but that was how dominant they were back then. Either way, we are about TSM versus Envy. Thresh, Elise, LeBlanc, all banned by TSM. Maokai, Caitlyn, and Zach off from Envy's side, and we'll see if TSM goes for more late-game security this time around. They continue to put high priority on this Gragas.
No surprise here. They have done this so many times, especially on blue side. First picking the Gragas. The flexibility definitely is there. Last time around, Seraph got an early lead over the Gragas, you know, with that extra Elise pressure, and then kept it for pretty much the entire game.
Well, this is interesting. A Cho'Gath grab right now. Of course, we still have the chance of TSM going for their Gnar or their Shen, two of which we've seen as common counterpicks here, or if they go somewhere else. But also, of course, Apollo blind picking the Xayah pretty early on. Pretty interesting to see because she, I think, had been hovered but never picked so far in this series, and Apollo says this is our best chance to win Game 3.
Yeah, that one to me is the more surprising one. I'm so used to this meta right now that we have with the Kalista, then you enter with Tristana, or if the Kalista's off the board, then the Sivir, but the Xayah jumping up here, and Apollo, even like right after the nerfs to Xayah, he was still one of the guys that was like, I love this champion, I still want to play this champion. And still putting a lot of time into her. So I'm really excited to see what their combination is going to be with the Xayah.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. This one, Tristana and the Syndra back in, so TSM could pick, so far I think their entire same comp from game 1, if they can keep locking the rest of the picks here. We'll see what it actually comes into be. Syndra versus Talia to remain that same mid lane matchup, and Niski certainly had looked good on that champion, but of course Bjergsen has as well.
Yeah, looked good on the Talia, looked better even on the Lucian. It's just been a good series for him, honestly.
Agreed. He's been pretty great. I think his overall scoreline is something like 14-2 and 12 or something across the series so far. He's been pretty great. There's the Gnar ban, the Rakan ban there as well. I agree. Rakan Xayah is an incredibly strong duo. I think you should always pick that one. If you've got one, you should get the other locked in. Taco going to have to find himself another support here. Might go for the Braum. Gnar and Shen off the table. So Monster. I think Gragas Cho, I don't know the matchup very well. I keep thinking things are Cho favored and they end up not being, but we'll see, of course.
We're still in the point, too. I think it depends a lot on the players. Like, we're not at the 100% figured out Cho'Gath matchups for all matchups right now.
Yep.
And the varying degrees of experience for both of them plays so much into it.
The Blitzcrank ban going to come through as well. We'll see if TSM goes for that same Lulu or Karma as before. I would expect the same style. Lulu to come in, who I think would make a lot of sense here, but we'll have to see, of course. Picks to come through. Does Envy take the priority on Rek'Sai that happened in the first game or not? And they're actually going to grab, looks like Karma here for Hakuho, even though I think TSM would happily go Lulu anyway.
Yeah, if they definitely want to go with one of the Ardent Sensor late game supports with the extra shields, which they have been doing, so it wouldn't be a big surprise. They still definitely can do that. Just because I'm curious and I like to look up solo queue stuff just for reference, like with very large sample sizes.
Right,
Kind of helps out with matchup stuff. And the new Cho'Gath. Kled is also one of the options that has one of the more decent win rates into him. So
he's got percent health damage.
Not going to be an option this time around, though. Jarvan and Gragas, the top lane / jungle flexible buddies.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter which one takes which position.
Not so much.
You do, have to fight against a different damage type, so I kind of always like the added little edge in there that you're like, ooh, you're going to take some MR or armor, or you're just going to go safe and take both, which will probably be the case.
Wow, so actually prioritizing even more the laning phase here. Nami, not quite the same super carry supportive that the Lulu is, but I would say a better laner in the general sense. Balfrost bringing this one out to help out Doublelift in this bot lane, looking to battle this 2-on-2. Gonna be a fun one. Trist, Nami versus Xayah Karma, as Team Envy are putting together a very similar composition. The Rek'Sai, just like they had in Game 1, TSM's only real change the fact that Jarvan joins the lineup instead of Shen, which may put Gragas in the top lane and Jarvan in the jungle.
Yeah, Svenskeren had a pretty rough time on the Rek'Sai last time around, so I think it's good for TSM to switch it up and go with the Jarvan and you know, let Lyra have his hand at it, because Sven looked like he was having a very rough time towards the late game team fights in finding a use. He was almost always using his ultimate just to buy a little time. And
anyway, though.
Tank, so
they went back to it anyway. They swapped at the last second. Well, at 20 seconds is the last second for pro play here, and it's going to be Jarvan top lane with Gragas into the jungle. So it's going to be armor seals for Seraph, or at least Quince, you'd have to hope. And Sven is back on the Gragas. We'll see how the ganks go. Certainly it's double CC against a slow champion. Could absolutely be done here. Coaches shake hands. And we'll see if, of course, they meet in the playoffs afterwards. But here we go, the final climactic game. Envy can guarantee a playoff position regardless of what Echo Fox does for the rest of the split and lock in that at least 6th place spot. They can still go up, of course. They are only one match behind Team Dignitas. TSM, of course, still on a chase for a bye in the postseason, of course. They are only one match behind Immortals. They can tie them in first place with a win here. We'll see if they can do it. The climactic Game 3 is afoot. We'll see who can take this one home.
remember this Nami pickup here is, you know, kind of early by TSM. 7:15 is where the 2 extra seconds were taken off the cooldown of Aqua Prison.
Right.
But oftentimes we'll see that, right? Where there's a small buff, people start testing it in solo queue, and they're like, "Oh, good. This champion's actually quite good. I remember I actually don't even need the buff, and I'll play it a patch early on competitive."
Yeah.
So Biofrost will try his hand.
Mm-hmm. Definitely happens. We'll see what comes through in this one. It's a very similar comp, though, on kind of both sides to Game 1 here.
Bjergsen's played Syndra all 3 games, but because he is using the SKT skin, the balls change colors. So at least there's that.
All right, there you go. I didn't know that.
Oh, you did it? We just watched 2 of the games. One was red, one was blue.
I didn't realize. I mostly just realized it's a blue glow around and it looks like blue elixir the entire game, and I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, you get a free blue elixir. That'd be broken.
That's
how Faker
wins the game.
Power.
Hey, he just gets free elixirs all game. It'd be harder to lose when that happens.
Comes with the skin now. You too can be Faker.
Yay!
Blue elixir.
We're selling power. That's fun. Definitely not a design penalty.
Don't worry, that will never happen.
I know.
Put a stop to that.
I remember casting League of Legends back in like season 1 or 2 when I tried to consider non-league players part of it, and I'd always be like, "Oh, this team's got more skins. How cool!" By the way, caveat: skins do not equate to power. Please don't think we do this. And then I eventually stopped doing that because it was stupid.
That's good. I like it when you stop doing stupid things.
Yeah. There's a lot more to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll still be employed when I learn them all. Either way.
Ooh, what a pull.
Yeah, very heavy leash for Lyra. And actually looks like Niski might have stolen one. I'm not sure if he got it from the lane or from the minions, but he does have 1 CS already, so that might have hurt Lyra a bit.
So Raptor dominance for Team Envy here as the bottom lane steals away a ton of the small camp here from Svenskeren. Meanwhile, Lyra got that super strong pull from the solo laners. Mm-hmm. So we'll see about that, how it really does affect Svenskeren. As soon as he goes to climb, half of those small ones gone. It's not too big a deal since he didn't even start over there anyway.
Yep. And we are into this matchup now as Bjergsen's getting pushed in early on. Gets that minion into the turret. Beautiful play right there.
Not gonna get that.
Oh, is he though?
Oh, good old Syndra with the yoink.
Yeah, she cheats at everything. She presses R, one-shot the champion, gets to take CS with her turret, which doesn't deserve it. It's all just...
we put a stop to the myth last game where you just buy a Hex Drinker. Niski was not killed, even from 50% health.
Yeah. Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, well, you know what? Buying Hex Drinker requires being smart, and as we have established, I'm not that. So Hanser and Seraph doing battle on the top side. Seraph with perfect CS, beautiful. Hanser's only missed 1 so far, can't complain too much. And yeah, very small landing phase leads. Nice by Niski, lands all 5 of them. He's got his minions backing him up as well.
Can he get all of them this time? Oh, we don't get to find out. Maybe next time on Mid Lane CS game.
Yeah, let's see what he can do on this side, though. Right now, it's a pretty equal trade of bot lane farm. Eventually, Biofrost will have more gold, but again, Hakuo itemizing for a bit more lane dominance if he can get it with his Spell Thieves.
Yeah, definitely finding some good harassment with his Qs already. First, we have junglers to enter the scene, though. Both of them, not just Gragas. He's got a partner. I don't think they saw.
Rocket jump in. They want damage into Apollo. He's going to flash away a little bit more time. They're going to get all the damage they need. First Blood comes in on a double lift. Knocked around and killed off, and here comes the TPs as well. They want Sven. They're going to get him. He's got no flash. 2 kills coming in. Apollo grabbing double buffs.
So remember last game when we talked about Lyra, you know, and him using those little bits of early information and changing his path accordingly? What a superb counter gank from Lyra here.
I hear he's good at League of Legends.
Yeah. Definitely showing up here on the rec side, and Double Lift and TSM did not expect him to be ready and waiting in the lane. Huge turnaround there for Team Envy. Not only is it first blood, but both kills and the extra summoner advantage. Anyways, here it is. They have Lyra waiting. He bides his time until Double Lift goes forward. Didn't even have time to use his own flash. And then Lyra uses his flash to secure the extra kill, and Double Puff feed over to Apollo. Just, whew.
And it was perfect out of Apollo. He flashed the body slam flash and then got the blade collar to actually root up Double Lift, I'm almost certain. So, I mean, couldn't have been better from almost everyone on Envy there. Really well played in the 2-on-2.
Yeah, they're really starting out strong after, ending last game in that very long, kind of high intensity neutral objective trades and long skirmish. Here we go, though, top side. Seraph.
He's in a bad spot. He's going to go for minions right now. Rupture's going to land, but he's really got no way out. He's going to flash anyway, and of course, he's going to get away. Sven didn't have flash. He gets away with it. All right, Seraph, well done, buddy.
He's got no way out. Oh, wait, he's already out.
Yeah, more things I'm wrong about. As, Seraph just lives to fight another day. He's still TP-less.
The invade here, though.
Yeah, he wants to play Sven. And all right, he plays that one well, and he's going to walk back to his lane when he can. He's still potentially zoned out by the Jarvan. He's going to TP back to lane, and we'll lose some dominance as a result.
Speaking of dominance, double buff Xayah with the Karma here, zoning off. He gets the minion, but takes about 200 damage.
Yep. Q, auto E, and it forces Rocket Jump out of Double Lift where he would have been rooted. Red buff still means damage, though, but now the doubles have timed out. The end result is, of course, this Coalfield's Warhammer being done and the 9 CS lead, so we'll see if it pays off any further. The fact that Apollo's up items should mean it could even pay off more. They're going to look for round 2. Double just barely got his Rocket Jump back up, and it could be a root coming through if he's got the cooldown. Going to get some damage on Bauerfrost. Takes a turret shot, undoes some of it, but still some attacks on Double Lift there.
All right, Svenskeren actually is pathing down to the bottom side again on Gragas. There's plenty of wards here for Team Envy, though, so they should feel pretty comfortable in continuing to pressure this duo matchup. And Lyra, once again, mirroring. He's going for the Scuttle Crab.
Yep.
Whew, look at the harassment there.
Yeah, really nice stuff out of that one. You can see they're pushing TSM to their limits, hoping to get rid of these minions. This should be, now this one could be denied unless they set it up, and beautifully done. Well played to Bauerfrost and Double Lift getting those casters. The CS lead only 5.
Level 6 already here for Lyra, so they want to take advantage, but he walked over a ward, and TSM are waiting. Svenskeren is in the brush, waiting for him to blast cone over. Doesn't do it yet. Niski could ult down.
He's going to cue the brush to look. He's not. Is he going to? He's going to ward. He can't ward for Seraph. There's actually only one TP for TSM. Here comes Niski, though, looking for a 4v4. Damage to Bauerfrost. Root is in. Kill's going to come through to Apollo. Going to kite back. He's got to watch out for Bjergsen. But he dropped the turret aggro, and no one's going to land that wall. Oh, Niski to make sure they were saved. An eloquent dive out of Team Envy, and another kill comes in.
Wow. Even though they ran into a little bit of a speed bump there with Svenskeren in the brush, Niski just walks on by. They finish off their kill. And they actually even get Hakuo out afterwards. Niski with a very nice wall there to close off any sort of chase from TSM.
Yeah.
No kills given over.
And I think the Hunter never could have TP'd because he's in range of Cho'Gath the whole time.
Yeah. All right, so Niski walks into Svenskeren, gets stopped up here, but flashes out and then uses the wall to cancel any sort of chase.
Even denies CS from Double Lift. What can't he do? Jeez, just insane stuff. So now BF sorted in for Apollo. I feel like the Xayah has more items right now. Some of that is, of course, Double hasn't recalled yet, so we'll match closely, but that's actually pretty big stuff.
As well.
Yeah, that was his first recall.
Did he start that? Okay,
no, he was
recall.
Yeah. He got forced out pretty early. And here we go. Quick rub up and grab by TSM. He's able to match BF sword, but it's still that same Warhammer to Cole, which is obviously Envy favorite in this squad. 1,700 gold lead, gonna feel good for them. We'll see if they can keep paying this forward. Top lane, a small lead to Hanser. Props to him for some good play. Of course, Sven gave him a gank, which helps. Still nicely done by the TSM top.
Yeah, as Cho'Gath, since you don't have any of your own mobility spells, after your flash is blown by a gank, gotta play a bit more careful as well.
TSM. Yeah, they're gonna look for the top side, but I think Envy's gonna be a bit faster to play. The question is, how good is the race gonna be? BF sword up on both means the damage output's not that different. And Tristana's quick at killing turrets, but Envy have a head start.
Yeah, and Cho'Gath, like, there's a possibility he could, like, oh, long-range rupture maybe to delay a little bit, but he really has to get out of there. Svenskeren goes in, and so you have to worry about those dives. Don't even want to get in range.
Hakuo steals some of the local gold. They actually had plenty of time. He could have walked away, but he decides he wants the money for himself. He'll rush that Ardent Sensor or whatever else it's going to be. Doublelift will get local gold for himself on this Tristana. Shouldn't be too bad.
That's the answer, though. You know, even though you are probably not going to win that race, want to get out of the lane. You were talking about the inventories and how scary it was getting with Apollo on Zaya here. You know, look at the one who's got 2 of those skill credits.
They get Blade Collar. That's a nice route. Do they want to ult from Lyra? Not quite going to go for the dive, but it was maybe a threat. But bot lane tier 2 could fall. It's about 3 attacks away. There's just so much threat that they can't go for it just yet. But imagine if Seraph ever gets a lead down here, that turret's falling.
Yeah, that is a ridiculous amount of pressure. They annihilated that turret very quickly. Calling all TSM members down. Bjergsen even had to rotate from mid lane. Don't think he'll miss too much. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much perfection on a double lift. Or sorry, Bjergsen right here. Shouldn't be any issues. Yep, the entire wave goes down to him. And Bjergsen sits on a nice, solid 14 minion lead in the mid game, in the mid lane even. 10 minutes in. That's with Niski roaming down once, but Bjergsen is definitely out laning here, as he did in the first game. Certainly a stellar player in his own right, but there's more to the game than just laning, and TSM still have their work cut out for them to come back in this one.
Let's see what the next step here is going to be, because there's so much vision from Envy as well around the bottom side where they just took the turret. And you talk about getting back into this game, they want to find space for Doublelift to actually farm. So TSM actually, their duo lane pushed up pretty far to get that minion wave all the way to the turret. They don't want to get starved out much more. Right now, though, Envy starting up the Drake on that bottom side. As I said, they have so much vision to work with. Turn on the Foggle. Well, right now, they've seen Doublelift and Biofrost for the last minute, just walking that circle around the bottom side. They feel very secure stealing away the Cloud Drake here.
And if Niski is ever able to roam down a bot lane, that tier 2 is going to fall. Tier 2 turrets, I'm almost certain, do not have health regen on them, so it's going to stay at that 112 health mark or whatever. 279, I was kind of close, but that does not take very much to knock down. So if Niski ever gets free time, nice body slam into the ulti, nice knockback. Niski does not have flash available. Ulti in for Bjergsen. Barrier's there if he wants it. He's not going to pop it just yet. Just going to go down to this last little bit of damage. Sven getting the kill credit, forcing Hanser away. And the top side is Seraph. Looks safe.
Labs here from Team Envy, but I think they have escaped no problem, yes. Bjergsen did have to use the cleanse and his ultimate, but that is about it. Nice gold for him. And it looks like, actually Svenskeren's the one who got the credit this time around.
Yeah.
Not the ideal spot for your money to go to.
Still not the end of the world to get the kill, of course. It's still great. Niski pushed down, and it means now it's a 20 minion difference. Could get worse from here. Doublelift now going to be attacked, though. Cloud Drake means the fast roams, and Hakuo wants in. Oh, he went to the right-hand side. They found him. And he's burned Flash, he's burned Rocket, he's burned ulti. There's no way out, except for the fact that his team is coming. So Hakuo can't win the 1v1. Now they go.
The way out is back towards space.
Yep. He bravely runs away.
Good combo there from Svenskeren.
Yep.
He knew, I believe he knew, they were tracking the cooldown of that Flash. So that's where you see him have the freedom to go for the auto attack afterwards. There's no big rush to get his ultimate out. And nice little combo there.
Good damage out of Niski. Certainly can look pretty scary. Again, he's went for that same build as game 1. The Merc treads into the eventual Banshee's Veil, but Bjergsen off to a healthy lead right now. Morella and Amakan already done. A staff in the Dark Seal as well. Lyra now playing for this bot side of the game. Looking again to get that bot lane tier 2 if they get the chance. Doublelift and Biofrost, though, pretty safe in their defense of it.
Yeah, TSM just want Doublelift and Biofrost to be on farm duty right now. They're like, Doublelift, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Pop your cull, farm up some items. Let Bjergsen really be the center of most of the TSM plays here in the mid game. They don't want him to be any sort of big plays at the moment, just maybe little skirmishes around mid or top, and just allow Doublelift a little bit of time to catch up.
All right, well, he's going to keep going for this farm right here. He'll get a little bit of alone time, but yeah, an Essence Reaver, Berserker's Greaves, Zaya is about to come back into lane, and that's going to make things a little bit more difficult for
Talia as well.
All right, here comes the attempt at TP as well from Seraph. Hanser could match if he wants to, and here comes the play for bot lane. Doublelift's going to rocket jump over towards Apollo. Definitely going to go down. Blade Collar in. Then Hakuo Scumbag steals away the kill. But on the bot side, another kill comes through thanks to Seraph. Battle for the red buff goes over to Svenskar, but it means that Envy will have free time to knock down bot lane tier 2. No questions asked. and there's no top outer to kill anymore, so really nothing lost on the other side of this.
Yeah, I mean, that is a bottom lane that's half a map out, you know, with no defenses. When we talked about how many wards Envy left behind in the red quadrant, there are a lot for Seraph to choose from. Pretty good collapse there from Team Envy to get some more kills off of this really heavily struggling bottom lane. And Doublelift has a long ways to go before he can farm up back into it.
Yeah, TSM with 4,000 gold to go. It's been
Then
quite a while.
now
Nice knock-up. Right from Lyra. They're battling. There's really 2-on-2. TSM's in the knock-up as well. Seraph wants to flash away. No feast, no flash anymore. And he's got to buy some time. Bjergsen there in the mix, but here comes Niski as well. Look at a trade blows back and forth. Ulti coming across. Barry just barely keeps him alive. He barely lives. And it's going to be Lyra walking back away now. And out they go. No kills quite picked up, but a lot of summoners down. Envy losing a fair bit, but they get the red buff at least.
Trying to decide if I allow that one. I don't think you should repeat it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But
it'll be cleaner next time. I'll repeat it when
okay.
it's not with you.
Attempt number 2 always goes smoother, right?
Yeah. That was a rehearsal.
All right. Let's take a look. Oh, God. We don't need to take a look at this again. Teleport in. Go roam down from the mid lane. As we said, Doublelift was just trying to get some money for himself. Firefrost was there helping out. And Envy, really good job of continuing to snowball off their huge point of power in the bottom lane. And it continues to be a source of gold for them as they increase this lead.
Yep.
You know what, 3,000.
I find it really weird that Jurassic Cho'Gath actually grows when he eats champions, because there's no like stomach or anything to like actually digest. It should just fall out, right? You eat it and it just goes out the rib cage. Somehow it just makes his bones bigger. You can't explain that. I don't understand. It's weird, but Seraph's making it happen here. He's got Righteous Glory. He's ready to engage next time he finds someone. Svenskar wants to fight for the top side. Envy sitting on this 3 and change thousand gold lead plus the Ocean Drake. Infernal up in a minute. You know Envy wants that. We'll see if they can keep their members on the correct side of the map to do so. Right now, Lyra's on cleanup duty in the top side of the map as they keep Cho'Gath down to the bot lane. Niski and Apollo, I mean, because they want to have TP up for the Drake spawn, they kind of can't play for top lane easily. Unless they time it
I was
right.
wondering what Doublelift was doing with that red tail. It's like, he's not going to be able to solo it. Nobody's really coming to help him, so just a little target practice.
He's upping his damage per minute stats. I mean, I know we all look at damage for champions, but you know, there is a just damage dealt. So maybe he just wants that one to look better. I don't know. Practicing is
Keep at it there, Detective Freak.
You know, sometimes it's worth it if you're like healing with Warlord's Bloodlust, but that wasn't what happened.
Started at full life and left a little lower.
He did the
Regardless,
opposite.
Team Envy are going to roam down to mid lane down. They actually don't stay up and take that top turret. I thought they were going to stick around and just push down that outer turret on top side, but they roamed the rest of the team back here to mid, so maybe they want to actually force on this Infernal.
All right, can they make it happen? The wall's going to try to cut them off. Not going to be beautiful at that. Seraph on somebody's cut off. And Lyra's actually knows he's going to find the one on the Hanzo. He's got Flash, he's got the Flag and Dragon, he gets away. But all 5 alive on Hanzo now at 2/3 HP. A little bit of a chunk on a Bjergsen as well. Feast still up for Seraph. That should be a pretty easy to secure Infernal Drake. Mid lane priority though goes to double. He knocked him the way first.
If he does it on the Infernal, he won't have it for the team fight though, and it is, you know, a decent part of team fight damage. We'll see.
Is he gonna feast? And he is. 800 health left. No chance for Sen to smite. Timed well by Team Envy. They grab it. They gotta fight for mid now.
And you could see that there was no way TSM were gonna do the fight afterwards, so he was free to use his feast because Doublelift was in mid lane hitting this turret.
And he's gonna keep hitting it as well as they've zoned out the team, and it will be the best possible scenario for TSM, trading mid lane tier 1 for that Infernal Drake. I gotta say, the best TSM could have gotten. Well played.
Yeah, Envy able to get their Infernal Drake for later, but TSM gets something back for themselves. A little bit more gold there to fuel the end game goal. Doublelift Infinity Edge is done now. So it doesn't really feel that great till you get some, you know, Static Shiv or whatever your Zeal item of choice is, but it's definitely something there. And you can get extra lucky with 2 crits in a row or something.
Sure.
Surprise somebody.
Although there's actually less than a 4% chance to do so. There's like scaling critical chances based on how lucky you've been. So within a given fight, if you're hitting champions, the numbers actually change behind the scenes. You can still get lucky and unlucky, but it's just less likely overall. Shout out Ziffers who built the system. I don't know the specifics exactly, but it works that way. Let's see what can come in next to this as Envy look to reset on the map. They know they've been equalizing turret score now. Envy need top lane and mid lane outers, and TSM can only look for the bot lane outer. 2,500 gold lead still puts Envy in a good spot, plus that double Drake.
Yeah. The other thing about that too, as far as which ones TSM are actually looking for, is more of a reactive situation, right? Whenever you're kind of behind like this, you are super happy to take the trades, but you also kind of have to let Envy make the choice, and you're like, okay, you choose top side or whatever. Now we will go get bottom or whatever. You kind of have to wait on them. Exactly.
Because if you pick the same side of the map, you lose the team fight. And here we go. It's TSM who say, yeah, you went top and mid. Cool, we'll go for the bot lane right now. Envy gonna grab Rift Herald, and Niski should grab top lane outer. So again, it's a minor 2-for-1 on objectives. We'll see what the Rift Herald actually turns into later on to this one. They grabbed it with 15 seconds to spare. We saw one despawn early in the LCS this week, and here comes the play, though. TSM wants tier 2. But can they kill off Seraph, though? He's going to look for the play on this one. Cataclysm is in. A lot of burst damage available. Can he chomp down Haunter? He's going to try. This could be a trade kill. Not quite. He barely stays alive. Health bars, of course, are low. Can there be a re-engage?
Yeah, can he get out? Lyra's coming through the jungle. TSM need to escape right now. Not going to actually close the gap here with Seraph down 25 more seconds. TSM get out with it. Wow, what a play right there.
Positive trade, absolutely. Yeah, extra kill, extra turret picked off. Envy gonna answer mid lane outer only.
Yeah, this one probably is gonna go down here with the Rift Herald. Bjergsen's in the area, but the charge takes out almost all the rest of it. And Envy are able to at least even up those turrets. But again, they use time taking that Rift Herald, so
yeah. End of the day, it's better turrets killed by TSM anyway. They got a tier 2.
So they go for this dive. They have vision of 3 of the other members of Envy, so they're fairly sure there's no backup here. Even so, Seraph almost answers his kill back.
Yeah.
Doublelift had to use his heal to save Haunter. And TSM very narrowly get out the extra kill and a turret that they did not immediately assume they were going to be able to get.
Yeah, but it was solid, all said and done. So the game now only within 2,000 gold. TSM clawing back pretty well. This was definitely in a worse spot earlier. We'll see if they can keep this one, the forward momentum going for them. Second major items almost done for both the marksmen. You're seeing Doublelift just the combined to go for his Shiv. And Rapid Fire already done for Apollo here. Looking at maybe a play on Niski, but he's kind of aware of how unsafe he is, so no 1v3 to be had. And Doublelift back in to attack these minions down.
It is a little bit curious how Envy had such dominance over Summoner's Rift for the last 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, but their vision is kind of lacking for a team that had that much control for that long of a period. A lot of those wards have timed out, and since they've been trading turrets, they haven't really got a chance to replace a lot of them. So even that defensive vision wasn't quite there, and unable to catch the movements of TSM. Now they catch Sven Skaren, but he's on Gragas. Can navigate quite easily around the enemy team.
It's interesting what you mentioned before, though, about the fact that they were on the map for so long, because every 2.5 minutes, your wards all are gone. And if you've been trading with for a while, you've got to reset the entire vision game there. Looking at maybe the mid lane here, Biofrost with the rest of the team. Apollo forced to run away.
It's one of the reasons, one of the other reasons that teams that are behind often want to go for these extended objective trades.
Yeah.
Haunter, though, wants to trade nothing back for Seraph this time around. Bjergsen's coming down. He just wants to slow him around for the Syndra.
And now there's no minions around to deal damage to Haunter, so now he's locked into the combat 1v2. Ulti coming across, plenty of damage there, and there's just no way out. Nice kill picked up. Bjergsen getting the credit. And no re-engage to be had for Envy, so TSM continue to be faster on these plays.
Yeah, 2 more recent kills for TSM than they actually thought they were going to be able to get, but that is some useful gold for them. This one, was that Bjergsen's? Yeah, so they did actually finally get kill credit onto Bjergsen. And 2 more stacks for his little ring there.
6 AP more. It's getting huge. Second item done as well. Luden's Echo for Bjergsen. It's very interesting because we've definitely seen, I think, different builds come out of Syndra. Some would go for a Void Staff earlier on or something else, and he's got a bit more burst into this, a bit more roaming power as well.
Yeah.
He's done, and now moving on towards the Haunted guys, plus more CDR for Niski.
I'm a pretty big fan of the third item, Void Staff. Times up with a lot of the magic item, completions for the enemy team. Maybe he'll go for it. Right now, though, Mountain Drake is alive. See if Envy are actually going to make their stand here. They do have a bit of positioning. They also have the vision of the Scuttle Crab. So they're well aware that this is about to be a site for a little bit of a fight.
Let's see what happens. Half of Envy's gold lead has not been spent by Apollo right now. Now for the play onto the Drake. They're looking for Hanser, who does burn the flash to get out. And Sven actually is going to body slam out as well. Chop's going to come in. There's a clean enough pickup there. Another feast for Seraph means they secured Mountain Drake. But again, TSM first go back to the mid lane.
Yeah, and that one, it kind of reminds me of, was it the first game where TSM were able to sneak the Drake?
Right.
In a similar situation. It kind of felt like they were just trying to do that again. They weren't ever really intending to, take that 5-on-5 or to try and smite fight it. They were more looking to try and burn it down and get it out of there beforehand. But Envy, you can see them correcting even within just this series for some mistakes that they made earlier on in this series. Yeah, they short up here. They're not going to let it happen again, and they secure this Mountain Drake.
Oh, they found the dunk. Now it is Apollo in a dangerous position. Has to flash away from the body slam. Gets away with it, but that's 2 flashes down for just the Cataclysm of Hanser. So well played in the TSM top laner. 1,800 gold apart, and TSM looking to play for Baron control.
Holds on to the ultimate for himself, so maybe he'll use it here as TSM are starting the Baron. Big wave on top side. They want to have 2 points of pressure. The wave is going to hit the turret while they do this, but they immediately
they got Apollo, and he completely gives it away, and that's going to be a 5v4 now for the chase of TSM. Can they find a bit more to this one? He definitely got caught out beautiful by Svensgaard, lands the body slam flash. Ults afterwards, that's all they needed now. 5v4 to push 25 minutes in.
Apollo gets caught before, doesn't use his ultimate, he flashes out. Okay, so you hold on to the ult, but this time around, Svensgaard just completely blindsides him and doesn't even give him a chance to ultimate. Huge pickup there as they turn it into a turret immediately afterwards.
Absolutely huge. Now it's only a 700 gold difference though, so TSM making it right back in, and Doublelift very nearly getting online here. 1,400 gold in inventory, means a new Zeal coming in soon.
Yeah, I kind of want to see this one even from Apollo's perspective, because he walks right up to that pixel brush. I don't know what he was expecting there.
Should not have been first, that's for sure.
Yeah, TSM happy to take it though. That kill plus the turret goes a long way here. Double F static shiv is done. Second Zeal item is done, or second Zeal at least is done.
And yeah, you've got Redemption in for Biofrost, his second Forbidden Idol, sorry. Forbidden Idol, which will build towards, we assume, the Ardent Sensor. That you never know, there's other items he could buy. But yeah, the shield and heal power is definitely in for Biofrost. The team fight heal is in. And I think it actually makes a lot of sense considering how much AoE is in for Envy. They can keep the entire team afloat. Got the Titanic Hydra done for Hanzo, so he can really just battle against this.
Was that an attempt at a Nami association there, or did you just accidentally talk about floating with the fish chin?
We're just going to move on and pretend nothing happened.
All right.
Svensgaard going to now start running away. A nice seismic shove, though. They might take him down. He's silenced. He can't get away just yet. The wall is there. The knockup as well from Lyra. Putting his flash to make sure it happened, and the kill comes through. So 5v4, no jungler alive, and Feast still available.
All right, Niski once again here. Talia ultimate comes in. Pretty big pickup onto the jungler. Definitely gives them some more pressure around Baron. And again, since they also have these control wards around Baron, it makes TSM stick around this area and kind of throw out some jabs here to poke around and make sure that Envy aren't sneaking anything. Question mark pings are actually going down. They're super scared about this.
Yeah, on Svensgaard's corpse, he died. Just kidding. Knock up on a 2, though. That's pretty huge. The silence there as well. And Bjergsen, Featherstorm coming across. They're only going to root the tank, though. A nice wave to buy some time. Lyra once again in the front looking for double up, and he's going to kite back into Redemption. Going to put the health bars in a decent spot. Seismic shove finds Hanser. He's still got flash. He's going to get away with it for this one. And now Lyra's the front line alone. He's going to be attacked, knocked up. He's got to watch out. The bubble not quite going to land, though. Looking for an ulti to buy a few more seconds, but be careful. The dunk is in. The kill's going to come through as well. Hanser gets the credit. They're going to trade it with the feast, but Seraph is low on health. One more hit will kill him, and they're going to get the trade kill in. 2 for 1. TSM win the 4v5.
How did they actually come out with the victory there with that face check? Envy a little bit funneled into the corner right there, and Doublelift constantly walking back and forth there. Gets off a lot of DPS. He chased off Niski, who was flanking and who initially got the knockback, but the seismic shove was on Hanser, the tankiest member, and Hanser was able to buy himself some more time. So remember when they start this, dead Svensgaard, 13 more seconds, and he has to walk from base. Hanser, first escape was right there, flag and drag out. There's that redemption he talked about from Biofrost being picked up early, and that was the flank that knocked Hanser back in, but the DPS, you see Apollo and Hawkwo kind of stuck back there, and Niski had to give Doublelift some space because there was a red buff Tristana. So some good little micro there by the TSM backline to actually ward off the threats, while then turning around to get shots in onto the tanks as well.
Yeah, Bjergsen basically solo zoned Apollo there. He had the ult up until the very end saying, if you go for this, I will attack you and kill you. And There's no Hex Drinker on that Xayah, so yeah, completely forced out. Well played by TSM, navigating the fight nicely. All of them pitching in for some very, very smart plays. And now look at this, only 900 gold apart. Mountain Drake again up in 1 minute. The non-combat Drake though, unless Envy's actually going for turret damage or Baron Rush, it doesn't mean much for them. We'll see. Again, they're still up that Infernal Drake though. They should have the damage output. We'll see what happens. Full builds, or full crit builds are done now for both the marksmen here, as Rapid Fire and Essence Reaver and Infinity Edge now done on all sides.
Interesting. TSM are going to send 4 to go help Hanser with his split, rather than trying to use the split and the 40-second timer on the Drake to draw Envy over. Instead,
powerful now.
Just burn it down here. They have Tristana.
There's the 4 attacks, and there's going to be a little bit of damage to this turret. Down pretty low. Wall's going to knock off a few, though. This is a 3-2 split. They're all going to get over the wall. Every single one of them has a way of jumping it. Let's see what can happen next onto this one. A few cooldowns are down for TSM, but they kite away nicely. No really big poke out of Niski. Not going out yet in this fight for anything much. Going to get a little bit of poke down. Seraph going to come back after knocking down the minion wave. Niski back into mid, though. This Drake is up in 6 seconds, and Envy wants in first. One spots him. Seismic Shove not quite going to land.
They also now do not have that Talia wall. You're talking about cooldowns, and all the jumps are basic abilities. TSM,
yeah, they're back.
Had a little bit of time where they're scared maybe if there was a hard engage right after jumping the wall, but now that the wall is not up for this Drake, they just send double lift down there. He's soloing it on Tristana with the little bit of lifesteal he has. He can do it pretty easily.
And Envy's trying to rush here. They know mid lane got pushed in already, and right now Double Still's taking this Drake down. He takes it out, and they know that Doubles is not part of the fight because of the global announcement. Early smite, here comes the feast. They're gonna grab it. Now Baron in a 5v4. And Double's in there in about 10 seconds, though. TSM must wait for this timer, but now the re-engage would come in. Sven's got no ult, but he's got body slam. He's got some damage on the Seraph. A big shield comes in. A nice knock up there for Hanser as well. Now how good's the fight gonna be on the front line? Seraph staying alive for now, but still taking attacks. Being attacked down, and Hanser getting the kill with the Cataclysm, a 1 for 0. And a Mountain Drake picked up for TSM, but Baron buff on 4 for Envy.
Still, yeah, a very good reaction there by Team Envy. TSM did that before with double lift soloing the Dragon, and this time they immediately are like, okay, we're definitely trading you Baron for this. And yes, TSM did get a kill there, but Envy are very happy to have Baron buff on 4 members in exchange.
But the push going to keep going, so now it's +1 kill, +1 Drake, and this turret to answer out this, and it gets the game again within 1,000.
This is a Baron-empowered push-up mid lane there for Envy, though. Lyra, if he finishes off these Raptors and joins up with Apollo, they should also get the turret.
Yeah, this should die. They actually know the recall timers of TSM, and they're a little gunshot.
Red buff instead of the turret.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Maybe it'll mean something, but
yeah. I mean, it's a 100 gold swing either way. You get 100 gold from them, and you get a red buff for the next fight. And considering they do want to battle with this Baron buff, maybe it really will mean enough if they think they get the turret later on. Yeah, I think it's debatable. We'll see if it comes out to be the positive.
Well, especially since Envy's red is also up. I mean, yeah, they'll have 2 now, but
yeah, you're right. I'm curious to see what's going to happen out of this one as the recalls come through. Last Whisper in for Apollo, not yet that gold for double lift.
They could also just be saying, well, mid is so low anyway, that's going to be our Baron buff push, and we don't think TSM is actually going to fight us on that one, and they'll be able to collect it later. So
yeah, I think it's possible.
That's probably the thought process there. Interesting as well. I don't know if you guys, people saw all of the interviews and videos that were coming out from Envy, but Apollo talked a lot about how Lyra, not only is he great mechanical jungler, is he great individually, but he's been helping out a lot, teaching the other players about his views on macro and the late game play. So
I want to put out something small. Seraph actually just did a useless feast on a lane minion. He was actually already at 11 stacks because he had taken 1 regular monster and 5 minions. And when he read the tooltip, he's like, oh, 5 minions. So he ate a 6th minion. But a minion and a monster, if it's not like a Drake, are the same. So it's on cooldown for a misread tooltip, I guess.
Yeah,
which
it has to
won't
be,
get paid out.
It has to be an epic monster,
right?
Or a champion or something.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah. And Seraph's feasts are basically 2 champions, 1 epic, meaning Baron, and 2 Drakes, and the other 6 basic stacks he's already gotten. So math supports it, but it's gonna be back up for cooldown, so it doesn't mean anything. He's fine. The mistake doesn't hurt him. Here comes the next chance at a team fight. 45 seconds on Baron buff, meaning they get 2 waves basically. This one and whatever one spawns after. And mid lane is clean without nothing happening.
All right, I want to start this one because we haven't actually seen too many of the really big Cho'Gath one-shots, but it is a Warmog's Righteous Glory and Gargoyle Stoneplate Seraph. So you talk about the feast and that cooldown, how important it is. it is incredibly important now that this Feast is actually going to be insane if he pops his Gargoyle Stone Plate first and flashes on double lift. That he's got to worry, from like 80% health or something.
It's 965 before the Stone Plate, so you were right, mid lane's gonna fall, no problem. But really, it's only the one turret so far picked up by Envy. In this push, they knock down mid lane. They sit their gold lead back at 2,500. And looks like they're gonna let this one time out, and they're gonna keep playing for the slower game here. They're sitting on the Infernal and Ocean Drake buff. They got more than TSM. Well, they're getting a lot of split push farm right now, looking like he wants to keep scaling up and be a tank. He tunnels right back away. He's gonna be fine. Sven gonna look for a play. He's got that Dead Man's play. We don't see that item nearly as much anymore. There's been a lot of, upgraded and strong tank items, so a lot more sort of differentiation, but Sven wants the in-combat mobility. Yeah, Baron power play, basically just the Baron itself, essentially, because both teams got a tier 2 turret.
Yep. Decent by TSM, actually. Getting that one off. The map actually has gotten quite dark for TSM once again, though. And remember how difficult it is when you're working with no vision against the Taliyah team, right? Not only you have to worry about those picks, but once someone does, it's very difficult to get back on the right side. Hanszer, Svenskeren, Double Lift, they're all fine because they can hop it. But Bjergsen and Vilefrost have to be a bit more careful with their positioning.
Let's see what they can find for themselves. 2,500 separates these teams. Lord Dominic's done for both the marksmen, though. The tank shredding is in. Nice little crit out of Double Lift. That's the benefit of a rapid fire cannon and Shiv. You crit everybody. A little lightning. They've traded back to the mid lane pretty easily. No minions now meeting just yet. They've decided their battle lines. No stun yet for Bjergsen, but the spheres are on the ground now. They're going to keep spamming, make the ulti stronger, make the stun wider.
Apollo got chumped pretty big there.
It's a big deal. And he's not got a lot of lifesteal either, so.
Rupture also down now. You see them move in, but Hanszer had already made his way halfway over to top side, so there's no threat of engaging on that crit anyway. But TSM still poking around here. Now they're trying to just kind of delay. Oh!
The flash ult, they're gonna go for the kill. They don't quite get him. Yes, they do. Biofrost knocks the kill down at the very end of it all. And now the chase is in 5v4. Can they get the knockback out of Zeal? A little bit they do. And actually the chase is in with Rocket Jump. They're gonna get a 2 for 0. Now on the other side of the fight, it's a Cataclysm on a 2. The redemption to buy a bit of time, but Hanszer gonna get chopped in. Will he go down? He will not. The heals are through. Just the 2 for 0. Make that a third as Seraph will fall. He gets the trade. 3 for 1, but now it's 2v4, and TSM have the tools they need.
And they should be able to take this Elder Dragon no problem. Trading 3 for 1 there is huge for them. Again, it seems just like Bjergsen in these late game positioning scenarios here around the mid lane with the Syndra continually finds a play. And this play results in TSM garnering a very big opening.
And Bjergsen tends to find a way. Nicely done here. Watch that fight again.
40 seconds left on the Baron as well for live gameplay, but there it is. He lands the sun, and he immediately flashes over. There's the ebb and flow for Nami there. Biofrost was able to secure that one. And then there's the re-engage. Since they know they have this 5v4 advantage, basically, nice little re-engage here. Hanszer is able to stay inside his own Cataclysm and barely tank up with the heals coming through from Bio. Re-engages into a Feast of Seraph, so they end up trading there, but it's actually quite a good trade.
I feel pretty good. So TSM have brought the game back to tied in gold. They're wearing this Elder Dragon buff, and they've got all the rights, I feel like, with this to play for Baron now themselves and see if they can make that push forward. No seismic shove yet for Niski. Full build's almost through. TSM have plenty of control wards in inventory. Double has no room for them anymore, but the rest of the squad doing the best they can to put those in. Let's see what can happen here. This is certainly a tight game once again. All these games look like they're making points.
Yeah, this series has been incredibly competitive. TSM have slipped in.
And this is going to go down. There's no contest anymore. They're not in range. TSM with a great play on this one. Going to grab themselves Baron Nashor. Again, with the Elder, it was likely, but they still made a very slick play to make it come through.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Without vision especially, Envy, there's no way you want to face check an Elder Dragon team.
No.
So, whether they're on it or not, got to give them their space, and Envy are just going to try and defend. Similar to TSM last game, honestly. Roles kind of reversed now. This, as you were saying before, though, this series has been, very competitive and a lot more than maybe expected coming in. But Team Envy looking quite good. Up until this point, though, now TSM have all the buffs.
Yes, they do.
They have a fully recovered double lift. Remember how bad the early game was for this bottom lane at TSM, by the way, but right now he's feeling great.
They're finding a Shogun, looking to knock him down, sending him back to the Jurassic period, gonna stay alive for now. Ulti not quite gonna get the kill, but it was close. The shield, like maybe a bit more time. You can barely notice it on that health bar, but he's gonna stay alive, and that's an ulti down for Bjergsen. Seraph can heal up soon enough. He's got Warmogs plus a home guard pretty soon. But here comes top lane attack. Elder Dragon still on Baron buff in here, and we're gonna knock this down very, very, very quickly. Seraph available, though, gonna go for the Rupture. Not quite gonna land much yet, but the wall's gonna knock him off. Now, can there be a fight? Sven kiting back once again, the damage on the Seraph, but he is very tanky. He's okay withstanding this. Looking for Lyra, nice knockup for Haunter. Wall falls down, will they get more? Not just yet, but a seismic shove finds Haunter down to 2,000 HP. Just keep back in for the poke now towards Svenskar. Double it back and forth, gets a nice chunk down. Apollo at half HP, and you can see this Xayah cannot get into the fights the same way Tristana can.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the range. Tristana scales range with every level, plus rapid fire cannon. That's why you can get those very, very, Hunter actually, they might go for him.
And they're gonna get the Rupture for a little bit. Cutting back, Baron buff still on for 2 minutes on the longest members here on this one. One of them has Runic Affinity. Mid lane turret gonna fall rapidly, down it goes. Explosive Charge takes it. TSM getting farther ahead in gold. They've not yet to spend it, but still the Baron means they can keep pushing this 5v5. Bjergsen will be back up available. The wave crew is still slow from Envy. A nice double stun. Hakuo's a bit low. He's got to kite back on this. And 2 more attacks to knock the turret down, and it falls. Double lift and destroyed the inhibitor. 2 inhibs down. TSM making great work of that Baron buff.
Yeah, what a recovery from the early game there, where Envy were just blowing the game open really early on, but TSM now still have plenty of time left on this Baron buff as well. There's a quarter left, and with 2 inhibitors down, just return to that bottom lane, try and push in for the end game. Double lift now level 18 as well.
We're gonna range, or 700 range or so. I think 706, something like that.
669.
Oh, right, it got nerfed, so it's 17 less than I thought it was.
Let me wait for the rapid fire to charge up though. 819 for the rapid fire auto.
In between the 2 of them. Something like that. Actually, either way, I was wrong. The numbers didn't add up in my head. It's okay. One more. I don't have to go for Bjergsen. Double lift, of course, is full. The Bloodthirster already is going to be incredibly hard to kill off of these fights now. TSM look like they have what they need to play these 45-minute Tristana comps and beat Team Envy. This game, honestly, looking maybe like a more severe version of Game 1, but a similar trajectory all the same. I'm looking to knock this one down with a highly scaled 6-item double lift. And very important, Bjergsen picks no deaths in the Syndra. Certainly has had a very good series in this champion.
Consistently finding picks in these late game scenarios. Bjergsen is usually the one to start it off. Looking for a couple angles now.
Look at that damage on a double. If you could just like work with the Bloodthirster shield, take some damage, not care too much, rock jump the wall. It's been a half HP, doesn't matter, he heals up so easily.
It's hard for Envy, right? Because they would have to get a really good Rupture onto, one of these high priority members, but double lift can jump. Bjergsen, all the summoners are available for all these guys. It makes it really difficult for Envy to actually start something here.
Yep. Meanwhile, double lift puts Niski at half with a single auto attack if he gets an 80% roll. And down goes the turret. Envy really far back now. 2 inhibs already gone, and they're down 5,000 gold for this fight. A nice stun. They're going to find a bit of time on the Lyra. More poke attempted. Not going to find it just yet. But at some point, Envy needed to actually find themselves a fight. Top lane's pushing in right now. Mid lane, gigantic wave as well, and Envy just have not found the inroads. And now Lyra knocked up, going to be stunned another time, and they're going to find for more burst damage. Not going to go for the ulti just yet. Good heal, not going to be much either, but they've knocked in Seraph. He's a big, tanky Shogas, but the damage output is still there for Don't If He Wants It. Back and forth they go. Haunter still taking the front line. Sven looking for the same. Explosive cast not going to be found just yet, and now it's Seraph running away. Lower and lower on health. The Xayah has fallen. Apollo dies despite the summoners being down. Another kill coming through. All the turrets gone as well. And it's going to be TSM amidst chants from the crowd. Take it home 2-1. TSM will end the week tied for first place, looking for that playoff bye.
Woo, what a long series there. TSM, as you said, finding victory over a highly probable playoff contender there. Team Envy, they did lose the series, but they definitely made it look competitive, made TSM work for it. And you can tell little bit exhausted there after that one.
Sure, it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes or so of League of Legends play in this one, and yeah, it meant quite a bit for both these squads. TSM have at least found a formula that works for them, but the question is, do they have more that works out? And there's lots to be answered, because have Envy improved substantially such that they are about as good as TSM, or did TSM have a kind of an sort of an off match where they had to rely on a 6 out of Doublelift to beat a team that they have like 6 more wins in the standings than?
It certainly makes playoffs very, very intriguing here. Super exciting. If this is how close, a possible first versus 6, matchup could be, like,
yeah,
all of the playoff games are definitely going to be exciting as we move forward. We have more contenders than ever, and Tristana's going to be a big issue as we see the playoff meta developing.
And that'll be fun to watch for as we move on. As how many comps do both these teams rely on as we get closer and closer down the line? You get into the best of 5s, you start having a lot more, the adaptation that matters of figuring out exactly what styles teams are most comfortable with. And again, it's simply a question. It was only one match. It was a single best of 3. TSM, I'm sure, do have more that they can do than just play around in Tristana, obviously. But in this series, they did rely on it. It did work out, though, so you can't hate them too much. But if this was a best of 5, you'd imagine you'd see Trist bans in Game 4. And you'd say, now, Doublelift, find something else that works.
And yeah, well, the Tristana was a constant here. So was Syndra. And Bjergsen, pick after pick after pick in these late games, scenarios with this long-range stun that she has. Is something that they also relied on.
Yeah, and he did so well for himself. I mean, 6-0-5 in the last game. That was 11 of 12 participation. No deaths. I mean, I feel like I'll call it now. Player of the game feels like it's Bjergsen, to be honest, based on what he did so far. Did the most damage in the game as well. I mean, I thought he was absolutely incredible overall for sure. But a fun one regardless. I mean, it means TSMs are in first place. I don't know if Echo Fox had won or lost against Team Dignitas. If Fox lost, then Envy's in playoffs for sure.
Yeah.
No one from the bottom 4 can match them anymore. But regardless, it's still Envy, who are probably a playoff team, or definitely a playoff team based on that match, who are now dropping games against playoff squads. They've got Immortals, they've got Cloud9 next up, in the next week. And
as we've said so many times, yeah, their ending of the schedule is definitely rough. But is that kind of how you want your schedule to end? As long as you're getting into playoffs, you're like, all right, let's get some training in on stage, and they go through top opponent after top opponent.
Yep.
Like, these are teams that they're going to be playing in playoffs anyways, so maybe they're at peak form.
I think it is super relevant. And again, they looked competitive. And if they can look competitive against these teams, you can squeak out these wins. You had the clutch plays out of Nitsky in Game 2, and Apollo had put out some good damage, and Lyra went death. Like, I think overall, Envy had played very well.